Hello and welcome to episode 541 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, a place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. My name is Vince Hunt, and joining me as always is the artist and creator of the epic webcomic series Vanguard and the new Vyper series.
1 week to go.
Dan Butcher.
This Friday.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be awesome. Anyone who's followed Dan Butcher on Patreon will have a sneaky peek of some of the awesome art that you get.
Some of the most detailed art I've seen you do, actually, I think.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Cheers.
Yeah, definitely.
I did that little Sydney Sweeney meme piss take.
I saw that
On Saturday.
Is that a real picture of her without a bra on? Is that how she appeared at some awards?
Did you see the interview thing? Yeah, I think it's real. That bra.
Oh wow.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah. She did an interview of a magazine or something, got challenged on something, and she just kind of like just stonewalled it, and everyone's like, "Oh man, yeah."
I don't care. I forgive her.
I mean, celebrity.
No, they're praising her. Yeah,
is what you've come here for.
Celebrity news,
and of course,
of podcasts.
Tony Esmond has a Heat magazine always under his shoulder, and you always know what all the local celebs and what's happening on Strictly this week, aren't you, Tony?
Hollyoaks.
Tony Esmond.
Strong episode of Strictly this week, I've got to tell you.
Was it? What happened?
Yeah. There was a couple did tangos and things.
Wow.
Listen, right, fuck you.
Other fizzy drinks are available.
No, shut up. Vicky from Geordie Shore did really well this week. She got 3 10s and a 9. There you go.
Okay. There you go.
Wow.
Eat that.
The thing is, I can't even fact
You went
check
to a
that.
racist boot fair. Don't give me shit.
They didn't advertise it as that, to be fair.
Jesus Christ. This is what happens when you go on this show. Anyone who follows me on social media will know that I actually went to this massive fucking antiques fair. And Tony immediately said,
German helmet.
well, it's just fucking loads of racist stuff there. Yes, of course it was.
I've been
You
to
sent me a
antiques.
picture of a black man called Mr. Peanut or something. It was what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then you went,
Some of
there's
the
lots
stuff
of
is-
Nazi uniforms here. You said that.
Yeah.
There was some fucking weird stuff there.
I've been to one and they were selling like their whole table full of. Remember, there was a certain character that used to advertise marmalade.
Yeah, marmalade and
you told me about that.
Yeah. There's certain characters.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, there's a lot of them. That's
like whenever you like, sometimes like if you go to these sort of things or any sort of, I mean, fucking hell, you go to comic marts, or anything where there's something from the past, and you see something that could be unsavoury in the modern world. How do you feel? There's something I feel. I sometimes just feel really uncomfortable. I'm like, is anyone else? I sort of look over and like, can anyone else see this? This is what
I like to think who's selling it. I mean,
I know who's buying it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I remember the local comic shop here had like it was called a bust of Catwoman, but it had like a real zipper on the clothing.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's what I thought. I said anyone who buys that is a proper nonce, aren't they?
Yeah. They're fucking unzipping that like the moment they get home. Look around.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, that whole thing of like, oh, this is, at the time it wasn't a problem, and then 20 years later you look back and think, fucking hell, what were we thinking? And now you might realize we're doing stuff now that in 20 years they're going to be looking back and think, what the fuck are they doing then?
Well, I always have this thing where, a couple of 100 years in the future, they're going to go, so you put bits of plastic in your eyes and you drove lumps of metal around at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
What were you, fucking mental? There's all sorts of things that,
Yeah.
Crazy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the alien overlords are going to wipe us all out anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
I hope so. Speaking of that,
things getting wiped out, like in Funkos. I don't know if that's to celebrate or not.
Right, just before we jumped on tonight, Dan Butcher dropped in with. Was it you that dropped the article?
Yeah.
I mean, what is this shocking news that we all feel so deeply in our hearts?
Well, I was thinking about it, like, we've got no real love for Funkos on the show, but like, it may affect like businesses in the fact that they may depend on Funkos to keep their shop going.
Yeah, they do seem to, don't they? Some of them.
So, so sales are down 14%. Debt is piling up. The company says there's substantial doubt it can keep surviving. They're just like, as predicted, this stuff has just run out of interest and people are not buying it anymore.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have kind of like invested a lot of money in collecting this stuff up.
I mean, it went on the fucking stock exchange. Do you know what I mean?
Did it?
It became a massive company. And I know, like, as soon as you say Funko's in, like, you know, possible downfall, etc., lots of people will be cheering, etc., blah blah blah. You're talking, oh yeah, finally, you know. But like you say, Dan, there are other factors into this. You know, whether you like them or not, some of these things have driven people into a comic book store. And yes, we don't like them when the comic book stores are 75%.
What are those kids in China going to do? Do you know what I mean? Where are they going to find work now? What's happening to them?
They have to shut down a couple of sweatshops, and that's wrong.
Yeah,
that's
terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
I'm not alleging. I don't think they're made in China, are they? I don't think they're made in China. That was.
I think our printing presses would be all right.
Taiwan.
Already the energy is kicked. That's what happens when it's the three of us.
Yeah.
We got guests next week, can we?
Yes, we do.
Is that one? Yes. I think it is.
Yeah. So
okay,
but we
pulling in the big guns.
Yeah.
Can I? We're not going to do a ranty show, but
yes,
like,
we always do.
I got into a sort of bit of back and forth with people online, which is always a great way to spend your time.
Absolutely.
That's what the internet's built for. Yeah.
And someone was posted up the fact that the Mad Cave did a talent search, and the writer position was won by an established TV writer, and they were like, "This is like a joke. This is really unfair." Her name was Jennifer Lau. She's a filmmaker and TV director, and she won first place. And I was just like, so
is she proper? So what she directed? Do we know? Or
I'll do a quick look and see what she's done.
Okay,
but if she's had credited TV work, but my whole point is the company's going to do what's good for them. It's if she's a talented writer and she's going to be able to make good books, why wouldn't they?
Well, I know the guys on the Slack were saying in the small print, it's not affected by it because she works in TV. She's not a previously published comic book writer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Like, is it a comic book writer that's, you know, or
we've all written things. I wrote a letter to my mum once, but don't mean that, you know.
Maybe it's like
I've
published
written a letter to many people's mums.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not a contest.
With photos.
Yeah.
It's not a contest.
I email now.
There's no contest
really.
here. It's just a kind of a talent search wrapped up as a kind of a PR stunt.
The whole it's not fair firm online do my nutting. Of course, what do you think? Do you think they're going to hire, you know, Joe Smith from fucking Stevenage? He's really going to help their sales, isn't he? Or are they going to hire an established TV writer? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like there's also like people go, oh, it's not fair, I didn't get this, I get that. If you still believe in the idea, fucking do something.
Make
yourself.
your own comics. Thing is, if you're not a published writer, I know. I think Troy was saying, well, he's not eligible because he's written for Commando, isn't he? And good. Troy's a good writer. I like reading Troy's stuff. But fair enough. That's fine. Write your own comics.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it sucks because people have probably gone for that market. I'm sure they have, and they're fucking uber talented. They didn't get in.
Yeah. But also,
then pitch them.
What it is.
But also, you know, I have to say the unsaid that there's some people that are complaining they're just not good enough.
Yeah, or probably haven't written anything.
They just yeah. You know,
it's a fucking childish little mule of like complaining you're not getting your way, and you just need to fucking grow up because the world doesn't work like that.
And if you're writing that online and putting it out for the world to see,
people are going to see it.
How does that affect your chances of getting hired by them next time they ask? And
I mean, what if you came close, didn't make it, and they think, oh well, hopefully next time that person will submit again, and then they see something and just be like,
you just fucking sorted.
I see the same thing every year about the Thought Bubble 2000 AD talent search. People moaning and grinding their teeth about how they haven't been picked up and they did really well on that. They should be working for them and all this sort of thing. Just grow up, mate.
Yeah.
A lot of these sort of you know, these talent searches or competitions and stuff, they are essentially just a leg up, aren't they, really? So people are like, oh, I'm pissed off because I didn't get pushed to the front of the queue.
Publicity exercise on behalf of the company.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is from a company. And like, you know, and also playing devil's advocate, understandable. Because it's going to get some PR. It's going to get some.
It's a quid pro quo scenario. Like everyone wins. At least if you don't win, you're not winning. But
yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like they get a new person on board. They get a load of fucking news coverage and
as long as
much as there is in comics nowadays.
You got the things in place like we are not going to take your ideas for ourselves and use them without you. You know, as long as you've got those bits
they'll
in
cover
place,
themselves.
Yeah, as long as they've covered all of that, then you didn't win. You
got to keep getting those spikes as a company these days. In fact, if you go a year back on this podcast, we were all recommending Mad Cave books, and I've dropped off them a little bit. I haven't enjoyed them quite as much. And
I know what you mean. There hasn't been.
It hasn't been the big one, has there, for us? You know, and they haven't really been in my face until this again. I thought, and because they're back in my face, I thought, right, I'm going to go through all the modern Mad Cave books, see what there is.
Yeah,
you know. The things sort of slow drop off and then they peak again, don't they? And you've got to do it, and that's what they're doing.
And when I've looked back at like Mad Cave books and I've been reading them and stuff, and reading the credits on this show, it's normally a writer or creator or artist that I haven't heard of before. Do you know what I mean? They're all new people. It's not like Mad Cave started and like, okay, let's have Kurt Busiek and Mark Waid, and it's not the same names, is it? You're not having the same names.
I think following the example of someone like Jordan Thomas, our buddy, who just put his own books out, worked hard, wrote, met some good artists, put books out, and then he got hired by these companies.
Yeah,
and now he's a regular comic book writer.
Yeah,
full time. So and I think he's done it the right way. He's just sort of put work out there into the world and promoted it.
Like say the right things. Don't shit on anyone. Don't
moan about not missed opportunities and not getting a chance like these little children do.
Yeah. I mean, because it is fucking difficult. It is hard work doing a creative endeavor, but and it's a grind. But you got to grind, haven't you?
If you're looking to get hired by a company or any comic companies, it's probably unwise to slag them off online.
Yeah,
that's just a little tip for everyone.
Yeah,
generally,
and I come from the experience of doing that work, getting that backlash at Nobrow. There's a lot of people who slagged off Nobrow, and I have a list of them, and they will never work for Nobrow. I can say it now.
Yeah.
But then they sort of ring up, like pitch in 6 months later.
Yeah.
So now I was hoping you might be able to
forget what they've done. Yeah.
You remember 6 months ago when you were in that hate group?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that was just online, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't really mean it, and I've deleted it. Well, that's fine because I saved it.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading stuff about employers now. They hire searchers who have AI engines searching everything you fucking posted and put online to see anything that
due diligence. You got to do it if you hire somebody. You don't want to hire a wanker.
And it seems with AI, it's easier to fucking do. Like you just say, find everything about this person, and away you go. Obviously, it's not that easy. I've tried. No,
I mean,
it's made the old stalking side game quite easy.
Yeah,
but just be careful, man. Like,
because there's also like there's probably plenty of people who are perfectly fine people who said like some sort of offhanded remark, not to the extent that we're talking about these people who are on lists, but they just said one joke, 10 years ago when they were young,
that's fine,
young, dumb, and full of cum, but like. But some people get fucking burnt. Yeah. There was witch hunts for people like that, and it's just silly.
Yeah.
So it's just like, come on, people, let's be sensible.
But James Gunn, didn't he? Got kicked off fucking Marvel because of some.
Yeah.
Never
made an edgy joke.
Yeah. He was a failure, wasn't he?
So I tell you
he
what.
Was
I tell you what
he was
did
a bit
it
of
for
an
him.
anti-hero.
Yeah, he was. He complained about not winning a contest. That's what I think.
But it's not fair.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
Yeah, not that he played a paraplegic that had problems with his penis in Romeo and Juliet or whatever it was.
Oh, I've never seen Romeo and Juliet. I own it on DVD. I've never watched it. I must watch it.
Watch it, Tony. Just watch it.
Okay, now.
That's when I met the dude from Troma. I bought it off him. I bought the DVD off him in New York.
Excellent.
What, Lloyd Kaufman?
Yeah, he was standing there giving it large, talking to everyone. He had a couple of like weird-headed people next to him, with like plastic faces. Yeah.
Nice. Troma, the sort of people that, like you say, Dan, those sort of people are anti-establishment, aren't they? They fight the power. They're against the grain. They don't do what the world expects them to, and they're going to fight back about the I've forgotten. I've run out of words.
That's exactly our topic tonight, Vince. We're going to be looking at anti-heroes, revolutionaries, and
anti-establishment.
Not
necessarily.
Establishment.
I don't really think I didn't really think we were doing anti-heroes, because that's kind of a whole different thing.
I guess
anti-establishment.
Yeah. Some would look at people who fight as anti-establishment maybe as anti-heroes.
Yeah.
But we're not focusing on anti-heroes.
So
that's
just to put a sort of umbrella on it, so you lovely listeners, and as always, whatever we talk about, we're just three dudes rambling on a Sunday night, but keep the conversation going online on Instagram or on X or on the ACP Slack, which you can join. And join keep the conversation going in the podcast discussion, of which there was a great discussion after our last episode. So thank you to everyone for the kind words about that. And it's going to be another interesting one this week. But just to put an umbrella on it, guys. So, and almost use that shorthand when we're talking about this sort of subject. In terms of characters, someone like a V from V for Vendetta, is that what we're talking about?
There's a range. So I think maybe we could each say one we liked if you wanted to start it off with. How would that be?
Yeah, I've got an easy go-to for mine.
Oh, yeah?
Punisher. I would say he's like enforcing a status quo that he doesn't see the state enforcing, or kind of he's enforcing his own moral code.
Is he fighting the system though?
He has taken down fought corrupt. I don't know. He seems to be kind of like not so much fighting the system, but like trying to bolster it in his own way. So maybe he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the remit.
It's a funny one, isn't it? That one. I did consider that one.
I mean, the thing about him is, there's a black and white line. There's right and there's wrong, and he'll kill the wrongdoers. And it's not about the good and evil or the law. Someone pickpockets. I mean, sometimes it can be boiled down to people break the law and Punisher's going to kill it. But I don't think it's not that simple. I don't think it's as simple as that with someone like him.
Well, say you went through a criminal went through the court process, and because of lack of evidence, they said we can't find this person guilty and put him in, and then the Punisher killed him. He's standing in direct opposition to it.
But I'd say if he kills the dude who's got found not guilty, he's not. But if he went and killed the court for fucking being corrupt, then I would say this end.
But hasn't the court said this is the ruling, and we as a society have agreed that this is the format, and he's innocent, and by the Punisher killing him, he's Punisher against us.
I mean, the thing that's, it all depends on the creator, doesn't it, and how they establish their own Punisher.
Yeah,
but a lot of the time he is judge, jury, and executioner of. Do you know what I mean? It's like this criminal, because if you talk about it like that, the criminal can be found not guilty, but the Punisher's still going to go after them because he thinks they're guilty. Do you know what I mean? There's so many.
Yeah,
I mean, the Punisher's
immediately go into the grace, which I knew we would
spin off podcast about that character.
I knew we would get into the grace, but what about you, T?
I'm going to say Killraven. Yeah. So for those that haven't read Killraven, you're missing out. But it's I got a Bronze Age character. Mostly written by Don McGregor, who it's War of the Worlds. What if the aliens didn't die out of the War of the Worlds, and they are the establishment now, so they run fighting pits. So basically, Killraven is Spartacus in a way, and he sort of escapes the fighting pits, has a little team with him, and has adventures. But he's fighting against, in the same way that Spartacus gathered his men, didn't he? And then they fought against Rome. In the same way, Killraven is fighting against the establishment, which is a mixture of aliens, mutants, and humans.
Right.
And I kind of think that's a parallel for a lot of things that are happening. It's a typical Bronze Age wackiness with some sort of political satire thrown in as well, I think, on the occasion. And I think that's my... I've got a few ones. And the other one I was going to say is the Freedom Fighters, who, if you know who they are, so they're like Uncle Sam, Black Condor, Phantom Lady, the Ray, that little group. And
what was the Earth they were on?
Earth X, which was an Earth under control of, we're saying it again, the Nazis, and they're a superhero team fighting against the establishment. At the origin story, it's sort of changed a bit since then, but that's they're the two I was going to sort of mention off the cuff. But I think it's the point. The point I was going to make. I think. Sorry to interrupt, V. Earlier, what I said I was going to make is, it depends on what story the writer is writing. So anyone can be anti-establishment, even Superman, who often can be seen as a conformist. But he is. When Lex Luthor was president, he was fighting against Lex Luthor, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in the film,
you think about
he's
so many
anti-establishment.
Yeah, and you think about so many people that have gone against Judge Dredd. And Judge Dredd is massively establishment, and
I think Judge Dredd is evidence of anti-establishment writing.
Absolutely,
yes,
but that's the difference, isn't it? It's creating this sort of law and establishment, so then they can explore
to satirize.
And absolutely,
the narrative is the whole narrative is satirizing totalitarian control.
But Dredd's gone up against his own. When Judge Caligula was in charge of
that's true. Actually, which suited the story, didn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
Now,
Vince,
when we came up with this, the one that highlight for me, Dan, he did a hell of a lot of work this week, and well done to him. But he gave some lists, because I was just thinking, you think of some of the big names, but I think the one that stuck out to me is Magneto.
Okay.
And I say that because, sometimes you just treat him as a straight villain. It's because there's so many different levels of it.
Yeah, it depends which bit of his comics you choose, isn't it? It's the same way. And I really like that bit where he's hunting down Nazis and,
love it.
Yeah.
It's so,
Yeah. And, I mean, without getting too deep into, the political side of, like, the X-Men and, all of that stuff that's going on and what that represents or is an allegory for, etc. Magneto, because it could have been so easily, he's just a straight villain. This was also a time where, they were cigar chewing. I'm robbing a bank and just a straight bad guy.
He kind of was to start, wasn't he? Yeah,
he was to start with, but because it wasn't just I'm here to rob banks. It was something there's just more to it, isn't there?
Bit more to it.
And his substance, and I think that's what all of these characters need.
That mini-series about him growing up, fucking hell, that is a good series.
Yeah.
That's the one where he opens the cabinet and there's all the glasses of all the people who have been killed.
Who did that one? Is that?
Oh, it's who wrote World War Hulk?
Greg Pak. Is it Greg Pak?
Yeah, I think it's Greg Pak.
Okay.
And is it Giancarlo? I can't remember the Italian guy now. I like his stuff. He did that Batman series. Can't remember. I talked about it on NNI. Actually, it is captivating. It really is.
And these sort of characters, especially when you talk about the mainstream. I'm sorry, Dan. Like for instance, you take a Magneto, who you could say is, and everyone I think listens to this podcast is going to have opinions on this in some way or another.
No, totally.
Oh
yeah. There are always going to be characters, especially the ones that have been around for years and years and years. That aren't just a one-and-done graphic novel, etc. Eventually, as narratives and storytelling dictates, at some point, they're going to become part of the thing that they're fighting against. It's always the way, normally because ideas dry up and they can't think of what else to write, but it's what happens when these kind of revolutionary characters or these anti-establishment characters then, through needs must, become part of that. What is their modus operandi? That's
interesting talking about the Punisher, because that's what happened to the character that the Punisher was based on. So the character Jerry Conway's quite open about, he based the Punisher on this character called the Executioner. And if you read the first sort of 30 or 40 Executioner novels, he's going around killing the mafia, and he's very much a sort of Sigma male. He's very much on his own lone wolf kind of guy. But then he gets taken in by this, they're called the Stony Man or something like that, this sort of government sanctioned military group, and he gets taken. So for the next 300 novels, he's not the Executioner, so they change it. But similar to that. And I think that happens. I mean, you've only got to look at something like Captain America. The being drawn into S.H.I.E.L.D. or it being Civil War and being drawn into the on the run. Yeah. And there's that sort of thing.
Because Captain America massively, like with Civil War, became it was like the ultimate establishment character saying no. This isn't turning against it, wasn't it? That was what.
Interesting sort of real world examples when you have like revolutionaries overthrowing the government and taking over,
or the kings radicals, or whatever it may be throughout history, because that's what it's all.
The
based
radicals are usually put up against the wall one of the first things that happens, because they're the kind of like shake it all up, and they're the ones kind of like you're willing to take violent action. So when a new government take foot, they usually take those people out because they're like aggressors and
they're
stuff.
going to be the competition.
You don't want them in. Is there a comic you can recall that has looked at that kind of aspect of it? It's got to be really niche.
Because there's one thing, like every revolutionary, they don't have a. And then they retired to the country, and they had a lovely little cottage with some flowers and stuff. Usually, all of them, to a man or woman, whoever
doesn't
it is,
go.
Even if they succeeded, someone then fucked them over in another way, didn't they, or something like that?
I think we romanticize revolutionaries and authoritarian people, and I think we romanticize rebels.
Yeah,
I think it's something totally. In this country that's brought out by more here than America, and I think everyone thinks they're a rebel over here. But if you said to me, "Oh, let's do a comic about someone fighting the system," and I'm like, "Okay," and I say, "What are they fighting in the system?" And they're saying, "Oh, they're an anti-vaxxer." You go, "No," but they still fall into that category.
Yeah,
I don't agree with them, but they still are. You know, they say, "Oh, they're fighting the system. They don't want immigration in this country." And you think,
those people up outside the migrant hotels, they're the fucking they
believe themselves.
Yeah,
but they're doing the right thing. I suspect they believe that some of them believe that they're trying to help. They're not, but they believe that, don't they? And I think that all this sort of let's fight the system, we'd all think, oh, what a hero. But a lot of them aren't.
But it's never that clean cut as sort of say, oh, they're definitely the bad guys.
So where does the line fall between revolutionary and terrorist?
Yeah, it's all ideological, and where you sit on it, it's
of which, for instance, Magneto has been called a terrorist. With some of the things he's done.
People like Noam Chomsky struggle with this fucking
I mean, it's
delineation.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, there's even Hitchens. Me and you are fans of Christopher Hitchens, aren't we? And he said some stuff that people might think, hang on, these days, and he's considered sort of a heretic in a way.
Yeah, I mean, take it back to the inspiration for V, like Guy Fawkes and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We romanticize these characters and these rebels, and they were planning to blow up
Parliament.
Parliament, and there's so many levels to it. And I know V is also it is so much to it.
V's a psychopath.
Yeah.
V's a psychopath.
Yeah. That's the thing is sometimes I think people just see things on such a base level that they don't look past it. It's like watching someone watching The Wolf of Wall Street and thinking, these are great guys. And I'm like, are we watching the same film? Because this has been 3 hours of the worst people I've ever seen on fucking screen. Do you know what I mean?
Are they screwing the establishment? They probably are, aren't they? Yeah.
And throwing little people around.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question: are all illegal vigilantes ultimately fighting the system in some way? They're committing a crime, allegedly, kind of, aren't they?
It depends, because you can say, like, in some stories they have it framed where the city doesn't have the finances or is unable to fight the level of crime that's being unleashed upon its peoples. And is it a civic duty to go out and try and stop people from being violently attacked?
There's that interesting scene in Dark Knight where he's in a multi-story car park, and he's gone to like a drug deal or something, and the drug dealers are stopped by lookalikes, like copycats.
Yeah.
And there's this line, and he said, "Well, you can't do this," and you're thinking, why the fuck not?
Yeah, I think his line is like, "I'm not the one wearing hockey pads," but that's only saying because I don't have the tools and talents, you shouldn't be doing this. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's like that. I know what I'm doing, so you shouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it so you don't have to. And there's
but he clearly doesn't, though, does he?
Yeah,
that's the thing. But
that's the thing. Is that's the air of superiority.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you could break down those psychological sort of thoughts all day. But that's the danger of like a figurehead character that is, like a Batman or a Punisher or anyone. Less so with some of the other street level characters, the smiling happy ones like a Spider-Man or something like that. But the copycats, Do you know what I mean? You have the people, oh, well, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, so I'm going to dress up like you and do the same thing. You know, that doesn't make them the same thing, does it?
Well, the maybe, Punisher.
Yeah. I think we need to clarify what we see as the system. You know, if you're fighting the system.
Yes.
I mean, let's have a yes or no about from these. So I'm going to say government is an obvious yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're fighting the system.
Yeah.
Religion.
Organised religion.
Yeah.
I think.
Organised, all kinds of organised religion.
I think so. You know, if we're painting with broad strokes right now,
there's going to be nuances, but yeah.
Social media, is that the system? The big tech companies is. I'm guessing you're going to
maybe big tech, maybe.
Yeah, I think something like that is the system, but a lot of people think it isn't.
Yeah.
So
okay,
you know, so people utilize it to do something that they think is against something that they're actively helping.
Yeah. I don't think you're a revolutionary or fighting the system if you're just typing.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
What about groupthink? Is that the system where everything is one thing is considered to be fine? So if you're in let's say a far off land where the age of consent is 5 years old, and you're fighting that system, that's just local customs. Is that the system?
That's a really fucking hard one, too. Yeah. That's really hard.
Because then, you know, the world is so full of different cultures. And
I'd kill anyone for having sex with a 5-year-old.
But like, say you was in a society that was like that, and you're like, well, this ain't right. This is wrong. And
you find a system. You're a hero.
Yeah.
In my eyes, which brings back to, well, that's a given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a funny one, isn't it? Yeah. There's a system. I mean, like fucking bus fare is a system.
Yeah.
You know, like the train fare is a system. The banking is a system. The fucking Amazon is the system.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that are.
Yeah.
I found bringing like comics, when one always kind of stuck with me, and when we started talking about this subject, this one came up, and that's Nemesis the Warlock. Because I can remember reading that as a child, and I was like, both of these sides are fucking horrible. Yeah. Like, I was like a third party reading this. I wasn't like, oh, I'm with I was with Nemesis at times, but then it's like he wants to fucking kill humans. He hates them. Yeah, like, that's me.
Like Nemesis for me was is evidence of the fact that a lot of my reading means I don't have to look up to the person in it.
Yeah.
I just have to enjoy the story. Yeah. So someone fighting the system and killing a load of humans because they're evil, he can be evil too. I don't have to fucking take after him, admire him, and write him love letters.
I can't recall being exposed to that kind of storytelling before that point. Reading a 2008, I think a lot of 2008 when I was reading stories were for the first time I was being exposed to a lot of story ideas and concepts that I hadn't really encountered before. Where I was reading stuff like G.I. Joe, Transformers and stuff, they're the good guys, they're the bad guys.
Yeah, like, simple, isn't it?
The good guys wear these colours, the bad guys wear these colours, and then you're reading stuff like 2008 was a bit more mature, and you're being presented with an attitude of like, neither of these sides are right and good and moral. And
we've been brought up on the narrative of, you know, sometimes you realise the system is wrong, and the brave man steps up to fight it. Yeah. And I think you look at something like Blake 7 is evidence of that. TV shows Babylon 5, they realise that EarthGov is evil, so they fight them and stuff. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
There's certainly an interesting thing, even with going back to some of those classic ones, say down like for instance Transformers. In recently reading, going back from issue 1 of the new Image stuff, going all the way to 25, which I absolutely fucking adored. That is taking the classic, there's a good versus evil, but because we have like modern storytelling and all these different layers, even within the good, there's the people that are like, hold on, you left us behind. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of, they're adding these layers, layers that a cartoon doesn't, or shouldn't, or, you know.
Not everyone's on the same kind of. We're on the same side, but our kind of
and modern
objectives may not align.
And there's so many creators now who are brought up on these. What we loved about them, these simplistic storytelling mediums, aren't they? You know, you've got the good guys and you've got the bad guys. And now that we're all grown up and we can have ice cream before bed if we want because we're adults, but also we can write the comics that we want to write, and therefore you're seeing a lot more sort of nuance and adult takes on some of these.
A lot of skill in a writer where he gets you to support the bad guy.
Yeah.
I do think that's a real talent, and I really enjoy reading stuff like that. I sent you to a comic earlier called Briggsland, by Matt Chater and Brian Wood, and that was two series, sort of short series, and that was really good, and that was about a sovereign state group who were fighting against the FBI and stuff, but they weren't good people. It was a bit like Sons of Anarchy in a way, you end up watching Sons of Anarchy and you want them to do well, and they're just fucking criminals.
So it's the way when you watch these TV series and they're like, these are not nice people, and then you're like, come on, don't.
Breaking Bad's the same.
Yeah. Breaking Bad was a classic sort of like, they're horrible people, but you want them to get away with it because
Yellowstone, the fucking family, the Duttons, they ain't fucking murderers. People.
Yeah.
They do whatever it takes to keep their shit.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then: can anyone be a rebel? In any circumstances, can someone be a rebel? Let me get some yes and no's from you around some of these. A doctor?
Can I just get context to this? Because I think a rebel is normally someone who was part of something and is now going against that thing. Because you're rebelling against what you've been part of. Normally,
that's fine. Yeah. So I'm saying, can anyone do this? So can a doctor?
Yes.
Yeah. Police officer?
Yes.
Government accountant?
I think everyone. I've
got one more to come. One more, please.
Okay.
Prime Minister.
Oh,
I would say
that's hard.
Now I'm going to say yes.
Given the right writing, I think you can.
It's
a fictional world we live in.
Because a lot of these things, every one of those ones you mentioned is not even if it is in name, it's not a solitary pursuit. They are not like in the older medieval times. There's the king and the buck stops at the king. The only one above the king or the queen is God themselves. Do you know what I mean? That's what they used. That's what they used to think. But now it's at a point when you talk about politics, just because you've got the big job, you've got 50 other people around you, like that want this, want that, want that, want that. So
outside interests.
Even when you got the big Mac Daddy job, do you really have all the power? So possibly someone in that could be, if they're going against what the majority around them want. Do you know what I mean? If like all of their sort of ministers or whatever, like, we don't want to feed the poor, and the prime minister turns around and goes, every poor person's get food now.
It's when number 10 opens and he's got a Gatling gun.
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
now we're talking.
Yeah. But does that make sense? You see what I'm?
Of course. It depends. It always, with everything we talk about here, everything we ever talk about really here, it depends on the writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it depends on how it's written.
And
there was Reagan's Raiders. Reagan's Raiders was a comic in the 80s. You know, it's like,
yeah. And there's always been anti-establishment or sort of like, punk comics, rebellious comics, everything against, even
Tank Girl was anti-establishment against the system, wasn't she? She was sort of punk anarchist.
And also, you can be anti-establishment against other things like the music industry or like films, or just anything, any kind of form of establishment where there's this big system.
I came across a thing where people were arguing about what punk is or isn't, and I said, I'm not sure if I could define punk, but I'll tell you, arguing on a Facebook post about what is and isn't punk isn't fucking punk.
It's not very punk, is it? I saw that about that dude who was in trouble at Glastonbury, and I thought, oh, is that the new punk? Is it? I must be getting on a bit. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name. But another one. I thought, that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Somebody's describing him as punk, and I thought, oh, is that punk? I didn't realise, but maybe it is.
Punk's too shorthand for rebel now.
Being privately educated and release a song on Spotify that slightly annoys someone in government.
The other one was Finn, which I don't think we mentioned.
Yes.
So he's pagan warlock and eco warrior fighting the entities called the Lords of Misrule, who are kind of in power. So I think he's one as well.
I'd agree.
Yeah. Transmetropolitan, Spider Jerusalem, as a gonzo journalist fighting the system, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Quite a lot. The Invisibles, they were fighting. Was it the Archons? I can't remember the name of the people they were fighting, but they were kind of in power as well. And another one I wanted to mention was Scott Free, which is obviously another great Kirby name, Scott Free, which is Mr. Miracle. So the story of Mr. Miracle is he was swapped. The High Father swapped him with Darkseid, and he was brought up in an orphanage by Granny Goodness. And he didn't know who he was. He was swapped for Orion, I think that's right. and then he doesn't let them break him, and then he starts fighting against the system. And I think that's quite a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one. Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of, especially when it comes to the heroic cycle in comics. Usually, as soon as someone says this is wrong, I need to stop it, that's when they become that path of the
when that moment of realization that, fuck me, what is going on here? Yeah, I need to take a stand against it.
Yeah.
And I think mostly comics, it's done for a heroic, good reason. I mean, there's room for comics to be written about and doing it for another reason, I'd say. But, I'd read the shit out of a comic about a little cabal of people who don't believe in vaccines, and they just see what that fucking nonsense come out
of that.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Or there was the 5G people. Do you remember these people who
The thing is,
spreading COVID.
A lot of these, probably
David Icke.
They're interesting characters. How can I put this in the right kind of way? They're interesting characters.
Yeah.
Eccentric, some would say, or maybe they're.
But they're fighting the system, Vince.
Yeah.
You don't get it. They're revolutionaries.
Yeah, that's true. But they could be a few Honey Nut Cheerios short of a bowl. But
why do you think that story is always appealing? Not always, but generally appealing. The kind of taking the person taking a stand against a corrupt system, and
I guess we kind of put ourselves sometimes in those situations to say, could I do it?
Yeah.
V, the miniseries, is the great one, isn't it? When the government's convinced that the aliens are also a comic, actually. Which the government's convinced these aliens are fine, but you got this group of freedom fighters, and it's just like one dude's a gardener, and and another lady, she's like a doctor and stuff, and they all join together. And I think the part of it was we all thought we'd be on that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of that, I think.
Mate, I don't know if I could be. It depends on what it'd be. Like, we kind of know there's stuff going on that's not right. And do you sort of step out of your house and go, oh, right, I'm going to make a fucking stand? And how does that...
Yeah.
I don't know how that kind of comes to being. It ain't fucking posting on social media, I can tell you that much.
So brave.
Yeah.
So brave.
But like in comics, I think back to the writing or creating of comics. Really, I think if you want to, it's been criticized so much for the messaging in comics, and so much, over the past 5 years, messaging has been a big word. And I just think sometimes it's the quality of writing that completely lessens that.
Mate, we've had a rash of that. What kind of got me is that we've had titles that come out saying like, this is kind of like radical thinking. It's like, it's so radical. It's been pushed by every news station, every publisher, every corporation. And you're kind of touting that this is like going against the system. It's like, this is the fucking system.
Yeah.
You're fucking saying the same fucking lines that everyone else is. So don't start trying to kind of frame yourself as like, I'm going against the grain.
If a Marvel comic is like, yes, we're fighting against the system, and it's being marketed, it's Disney. They are the biggest. They are the biggest fucking system. And people just need to face up that the big characters, it's just not going to be there. It's not going to be there. It's going to be in like the graphic novels, or like, because we don't have the weeklies or whatever, like for instance that gave birth to V for Vendetta. Was it Warrior that was it? What was that in?
Warrior magazine.
Because we don't have things like that where those things will be born. And
well, we have us now. We have the small press.
I thought you were talking about us three.
But in a way, we're part of it. But we have us to say that, don't we? I think the whole messaging thing it's a bit like a lot of things. There's a nuance to it.
Yeah,
I think some messaging, when it's well done, works.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some messaging, when they suddenly just go, oranges are like onions.
Yeah.
Like that, just in the middle of a sentence. You're like, what the fuck happened there?
Where's
it's just not
very
well written.
Yeah.
You're
Do you know what I mean? You're a billionaire. You're obviously rubbish. What? I'm lying on my deathbed.
Sorry, where did that come
fucking get me going on the Batman
I know. It's not just Batman, though, is it? It's happened to Iron Man as well.
But the thing about the Batman thing, it was said by people who weren't reading the comic because Batman wasn't a millionaire when they were saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stopped being a millionaire for a while. He was relying on fucking Alfred and Dick Grayson for money. Yeah. It's just madness.
Also, it kind of this is always it's entertainment. Like, if like someone was going around like the Punisher and killing people coming out of courts or what he thought was criminal, everyone would be like, "What the fuck is this guy?" Like, you wouldn't be kind of. It'd be framed by everyone as being the worst of the worst. It would.
Yeah.
Obviously, we get people cheering him on, but
saying that. Have you seen that video? The guy who shoots the guy who sexually abused his son. He pretends to be on the phone in America.
Yeah, Gary something.
Yeah, damn. Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get many people. Kind of. I'll stop that sentence there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for all of the, and it can be very tricky waters. It can also be, so many of like you talk about Nemesis, and so much of 2000 AD at the time when it started was real fucking middle fingers in the air to the
I think Jonathan Ross says it in the introduction to Accident Man, doesn't he? Into the collection, he says Pat Mills was a punk.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that, I think.
There's fighting the system for good reasons. There's fighting the system for bad reasons. They're fighting the system for good reasons makes you a hero. Fighting the system for bad reasons makes you a fucking villain or a terrorist.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, and it all depends on how the story is told, I think.
I think there's one in Invincible. I mentioned this one before, but like he's fighting the dinosaur guy that I can't remember what his name is. But his idea is to turn Las Vegas into glass, and the energy that he could use in that could power like the rest of the world on clean energy, and he managed to do it. And Invincible sort of like he was right. He's killed loads and loads of people, but in that he's saved millions, if not billions. And he starts to work with him, and he basically goes against the people he loves and works with.
Yeah, Kirkman does some interesting. He does ask some interesting questions.
It's the Thanos question, isn't it? Yeah. If you get rid of half the people in the world, it probably would help.
And that was,
but we don't want them all to die.
That's the thing. No. That's the beauty of like good writing or good character creation stuff. Like Thanos is just wiping out. Just doesn't think about it. But when they give their argument, and you write it well enough,
it was very different in the comics to the movies, because the comics he's in worship, he is in love with death, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
But when if someone has a side that they can put across, then they're well written, essentially.
Yeah,
they're not just.
It's that always thing about when you're writing villains, like having one which you not so much think, I kind of would agree with that, but like it makes sense to what they're saying. Is actually there's some logic behind that, maybe quite perverted logic, but.
And
you're right though. Sorry to interrupt, but I think you're right there, Vince and Dan. I think what we've got here, what we're talking about here, is fighting the system. Is how we relate to the villain in the story. Are they actually a villain?
Yeah.
And that if when you cut out all the fucking mess around it, all the noise around it, that's what we've got there, haven't we?
Yeah. And I know it's quoted so many times, but like in The Dark Knight, it's like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. It's so true, because there's these people that we're against the system, we're going to bring down the system. They bring down the system, and then they become the system, and then then they become the thing that they hated.
Now you got to manage a budget and
even sometimes you have these like take a 2000 AD for instance, like started on this, and like what is it now? I don't read it, so I can't really say too much. And there's a lot of people who've got a lot of opinions on it, but they're certainly
started reading it again.
There's certainly more of a mainstream establishment than they were, I would argue, at the back
in the days.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm also saying
some people.
I'm also saying that and I don't read it, so apologies if I'm wrong about anything.
But if I was a rebel working at 2000 AD, there's certainly some people I wouldn't honour.
Well, also comics. Comics were always the underdog. Comics were always people laughing at us and stuff like that. And now it's the geeks have ruled the world. Marvel is like fucking. Do you know what I mean? It's no longer.
We won. Yeah. I think. Well, certainly up maybe 5 years ago, you could make a case of saying, how comics we're all nerds and stuff.
Yeah.
We've won. Big tech is run by the government, and the world's controlled by the nerds now, isn't it? Really. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we've won there.
Yeah.
What's been won? It's always going to be. There's always going to be problems and shit in it.
Maybe we should do an episode on underdogs one day, because there's certainly a line somewhere.
And I think that's one of the things in comics that people love. People love the underdog story. And
totally.
That's why I like Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I think he's on the friendlier side of the underdog. You know what I mean? Because a revolutionary, a rebel, just in their very essence, is the purest underdog. Because they're stepping out from under a boot heel, aren't they? They're fighting back against a bigger power.
They certainly can be at the start, can't they?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, bringing up Millar's Nemesis, the first run he did of that, I don't like that book at all.
We know we didn't like it, did we?
No.
It's very. I mean, I love a bit of crassness, but I found it sort of strangely crass and unattractive.
When he sort of rebooted, reimagined it, if you will, that was like, okay, you're making it a lot more kind of appealing character, but just like a character, I'm going to fuck the system, I'm going to kill everyone. It's just like, not sure about this.
More about that later, by the way, in the recommendations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a bit of that coming. But a new book by him. Yeah.
It's weird because you're framing it there, Tony. Essentially, anyone can be or has been a rebel at any point, and it's kind of fascinating. People love to see that story play out in the media and comics.
I think we just need to stop this framing where if you're a rebel, you're a hero.
Yeah.
I think
it's not always the case.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking far right people in this country who consider themselves to be rebels, and I wouldn't consider them to be heroes. Yeah. I think technically they probably are a rebel, but it doesn't make them a hero.
Yeah.
You
know, when people like, if we're just boiling it down to anti-establishment, you know, like you say, there are people with some very poor views. That certainly sort of say, oh well, I'm against it because they don't look after me.
Well, like the maps, they consider themselves to be rebels.
Yeah,
and they're not. They're just nonsense.
I'm interested to see like stories when you have they put it in the Matrix where going to film references. It should be going to comic references.
Yeah,
but like when you're fighting against a system and you're quite happily tear up fucking buildings, kill people because in the end it's for the greater good. I'm trying to bring down like
that's an interesting line to follow in the narrative, isn't it? In a comic, you know, how far do you go to bring down the government?
So that goes all the way back to
all the way back to the gunpowder plot, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's all about like how, because you take a story like that, like the Matrix, and the things that you can deal with that is like they're doing all these rebellious things. But the innocent people, the real people, are so in the background. Do you know what I mean? They're just pods, basically.
Yeah.
And it's all about the agents. So it's the enemy is faceless. The establishment is faceless. Do you know what I mean? It's almost a perfect vehicle for that fighting against an unstoppable establishment, isn't it? But when we normally deal with like the real world or real life, and you're talking about real lives and bloodshed, there's layers then, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? That, you know, and even when you do these fights where, you know, people are blowing up buildings and like it could be for a cause that you agree with, and then you think, hang on, there were loads of innocent people then that died.
Well, you know, my life is modern politics. You know, my is you know, and the nuance that is, you know, I can't really watch a lot of news because it just maddens me because the nuance is lost. Yeah. There's such a fucking push to make a good guy, bad guy, simple fucking shit going on, and that's transferred over into fiction as well. I was watching this video the other day about the two screen theory. Have you seen this? So there's been an active movement in movies and television, I suspect, to make simplify because they know that people will be looking at their phones whilst watching it.
Yeah, they're actually
that's fucking shouldn't be catering that.
Yeah, there's mandates from studios that are asking writers. So if ever you watch something and you think, and you don't look at your phone and you think, that was really simple, wasn't it? Why are they telling me all the basics?
Why they keep explaining this? Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Why they keep showing this again and again.
The worst
the Blair Witch Project, right at the end where you see that flash of the bloke, don't you? And you're like, fuck. But if you're looking at your phone, you'd have missed that. That'll be on the screen now for about 4 minutes at the end, wouldn't it? Yeah.
The worst cast example of this, and this is not even that recent, but it's Batman Begins. Right at the end of the film, climax of the film, Ra's al Ghul's set off that thing and the water pressure's shooting towards Gotham Central. It's going to blow and all that toxin's going to get into the air. There's a guy in that, he's like a famous like American actor who's been around for donkey's years. I couldn't tell you. He says a fucking line about if that water pressure gets here, it's going to blow. And he says that fucking line about 5 different ways. Like, if this gets here, it's going to blow. Like, the pressure's high, it's going to blow. And he's like, mate, we get it. Like,
it's exposition, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they think,
if you watch that film now, that bit will stick out to you. Because it's like, why does he fucking keep saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's the good thing about comics is we're not looking at our phone. Well, we can look at our phone, but we're having to look away, aren't we? And we're not taking it at the same time. We'll have to go back to it. And I think maybe that's the fact with comics. We can somehow keep that intelligence in there.
Yeah.
When we want to, keep that fucking nuance and, layer in there. But that seemingly is lost on the fucking bobble-headed fucking idiots who go to the cinema and look at their phones,
Go to the cinema and you're locked in. Mate, if you get some... You get
best experience. That's why I go to the cinema in the morning or the afternoon now if I go, because I'm just fucking sick of people looking at their phones and talking.
I've pulled someone up on it about it before.
Yeah.
It's like, man, what are you doing?
I had a bloke sit next to me looking at his phone for the whole movie, so I just turned the torch on my phone and just shined it in his face. Like this. And that was years ago. That was during Solomon Kane. I went to Solomon Kane. That was that long ago.
Jesus Christ, so you're the only two people in the cinema.
You wondered why he sat next to you, first off.
Yeah, well.
No, it's fucking empty. There's only two of us.
I'd had that fucking hole in the popcorn for weeks.
Yeah. Playing with your phone. Should we play with this, mate?
Let's play skiing.
It's a massively nuanced subject. It's
yeah.
I
mean, this is an interesting one, and it's I'll make it similar to I wrote a piece on. You don't have to. I did my usual. You don't have to fight. You have to fight a ball to write about it, and I used it and the only people who wrote into that were people who I could see it affected them, and I can see that. Well, nearly all of them. Were right, but you could see it. They thought it was a personal slight, and I can see people. I can see people writing into this who think they're the greatest rebel in the world.
Yeah.
Because they're sitting there typing fucking slogans with hashtags on them on Twitter, or Blue Sky, wherever the fuck people go now.
Yeah. I think something that fascinates me with stories now, is the ones that you don't focus on, the ones that you don't see, and to bring in this anti-establishment, what a great example of this is the Hunger Games books, because Katniss Everdeen's a normal person. There's this war going on. The establishment is massively present in that, and obviously there's a rebellion that kicks off about it, and she becomes the figurehead for this rebellion. But all the way through, she doesn't, she's like, I don't want to do this.
Doesn't want to be a part of it. Yeah.
And then but all this wrongdoing, it's like, we need to fight back about it. But then you do learn that, hold on, the people that are fighting back, they might be just as bad as the people we're trying to replace. And the book itself, no matter what people say about like young adult and what, that's a brilliant series of books because it's about war, and there's all these factions doing these different things, but the people that suffer are the people. Do you know what I mean? The normal people, because everyone else is playing a game. All of it, even if it's like, because the rebels in that are like, we need to take down the system, yay! But they're using that from the people.
But that's like the flip of what we was talking about a minute ago with the ends justify the means. That's flipped it to look at the people who are in the background, and they're the background players getting affected by these big moves happening around them. Which is not the great position to be in, is it? It's horrible. No, well, that's the position we're in, essentially. I'm kind of
the parallels about everything we've said compares to the X-Men a lot, doesn't it? Well-written X-Men. Yeah, I always think of like Wolverine, who was kind of a loner, didn't really want to do anything about it, and then towards the end he becomes a teacher and a figurehead.
Yeah, there's a real kind of character growth in that. I know some people don't like that, but I like the whole kind of, he's gone from being this fucking savage like on his own to like being an uncle figure, teacher and mentor.
And a friend.
It's also one of the things I like about the X-Men is the fact that there's certain characters with a kind of nobility and a kind of things, this is what I will and won't do. And because of the boat they're in, they have to work with people who will do fucking whatever, whenever, to get what they want. And that kind of dynamic play between characters is always really interesting.
I will say, in counterpoint to that, to take Wolverine as an example, like I never, when Xavier wasn't about and he ran the school, didn't he, with Storm?
Yeah, the Jason Aaron bit. Yeah.
I wasn't interested in Logan being a daddy figure. Do you know what I mean?
Fair play.
There was interesting things you can do with it, but I was one of those who was like, I don't think he should have that job. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And to be
I like the relationship with Kitty Pryde that's like that.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I think the mini-series around that, I think was great.
You know, you can do some interesting things with it, but then it all depends.
He's not a headmaster, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then there is that.
It's a hard one because, like, it's one of those Marvel, the characters change and they don't. And the classic Wolverine is always like, you want him to be that classic Wolverine.
And I can see the thought process because he's been alive for hundreds of years. He's got the wisdom, he's got the skills, he's got the knowledge, you know.
And also he's massacred and murdered. I'm not just going to say murdered lots of people. He's fucking massacred lots of people. So you need to write it correctly. And sometimes I read it as like, he was the cheerful, you know, almost a cheerful, well-dressed sort of teacher. And I was like, no, what? Can we not...
Who would you choose?
What? To run the...
To be the headmaster outside of who would you choose?
Ooh, that's an interesting
Out of the
one.
X-Men. I know you're not reading the X-Men now, but Kitty Pryde, she's Kate Pryde now, has really grown up. I think now...
I think she would have been good. She would have been good.
I think maybe Storm.
Always a good one. Yeah.
I think...
Presence, you know.
Yeah, I think... there's certain characters...
Would Beast be a good shout?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but there's a lot of these characters like Storm or Beast who I think would be more beneficial in being more ambassadors than sort of teachers. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like the teachers should maybe be the ones that were the next level after that line of characters. Do you know what I mean?
I would have liked Emma Frost to be my teacher.
I bet you would have.
Especially
you
in
naughty
PE.
little sausage.
Especially in PE.
But once again, it's all about writing, isn't it? I mean, like, for instance, like you take the New Mutants. Could any of them potentially... Because they're like fucking grandparents now, aren't they, compared to everyone else?
Sam Guthrie's quite level-headed now. He's got a bit of worldliness about him now.
He became the next generation sort of Cyclops in a way, didn't he? He was sort of...
Sunspot's become a bit of an arsehole, isn't he? But Rain's not really changed, and she's sort of too much of a mixture of neuroses and...
Yeah.
Who was the one in the classic
PTSD.
X-Men one where he's got that kind of the red and white mask? Who was that?
Sunfire.
That was Sunfire.
Sunfire, yeah. He was a massive arsehole.
He was a massive arsehole. That's hilarious reading that issue.
When you reread that, it was like, man, he's a fucking arsehole.
And he's there, he turns up full costume and just sort of like, I don't want to be here. And then leaves. You're like, why did you
in it after that?
Why did you
turn
up
there? I don't want to be here. Yeah. I don't want to be here. It'd be good if he made the kind of decision on the spot, like turned up like, actually, I fucking don't want to be here. This is shit. And,
we got to think of our Christmas comic, haven't we, soon?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not far off now.
True.
I've got to say, in regards to Logan, if I was like hundreds of years old, I'm only sort of like in my 40s, I'd kind of just get fucked off with it all. I'd want to be a hermit all the time. After a couple of hundred years, I'd be like, oh, fuck this. This is rubbish.
You're aching, aren't you, as well? You've got all this metal stuffed in your body. Everything hurts.
I'm just going to go and live in the woods.
But does it? Because he's healing all the time.
Didn't he?
Can't get pissed.
Yeah. It does annoy me whenever they show him drinking and smoking because it's just like sitting there drinking glasses of water for him.
But then again, it could be like you just like the taste. Do you know what I mean?
He says he can get a little bit of a buzz, can't he, if he drinks enough? Yeah. Oh, it depends on when it's written.
Drinking fucking industrial ethanol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like drinking. I like drinking alcohol-free lager for the taste. Something, mate. Fucking get on that register.
Just get.
God, the amount of times that word has been used this week is unreal.
I'd just get on crack if I was Wolverine. I'd do crack.
Just love
crack.
Do you think he feels anything from that though?
Got only.
Actually, drugs must have affected him in some ways. Don't they? Yeah.
I think he's got massive resistance to like drugs, poisons, and with the healing factor, virtually everything just gets soaked up.
I'm cataloguing my comics still at the moment, and I did that one where is it Garth Ennis does the Punisher versus Wolverine, and he just sort of doesn't he run over him with a fucking lawnmower or something, and he just takes all of his skin off.
Amazing.
And he even comes back from that.
I know we're close to kind of wrapping up, but like the Authority, they're quite interesting. As in,
that was a bit of that going on there. Yeah,
they kind of sidestep and it's like we're going to take charge now and what we think is right.
So it's in the name, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when you get to that sort of very powerful, you can you can buck the system, but there's a suspicion that you're going to take over as part of the sort of story.
They all but do that. They sort of say if you don't
it?
treat your people right, we're going to get involved. It's like, well, what's right?
I bought the omnibus of that the other day. I got it to read again.
That's great.
Looking forward to that.
I love reading it. Yeah.
And
what's the one I got you, Dan? What was the other title?
Planetary.
That's so good, man.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
I think one of the
A-star comics that.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
One other thing about like these sort of underdog or rebels or the revolutionary sort of comics, there's also a case of there's always a bigger fish. Do you know what I mean? There could be an establishment, and as soon as aliens come down to take over everything, all of a sudden we're the underdogs. So we are now the rebel.
Yeah, which is Killraven. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's at some point everyone's become a rebel at some point. So is there any such thing?
Yeah.
Well, like you said with VT. At some point, like people will start marching in lockstep with the new establishment, the new power, because that's the easier, maybe safer route, or because that scene is right. I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to acquiesce to their.
And it's interesting.
Interesting lizards.
Yeah. And speaking of V for Vendetta, there's also that sort of like, such a symbol of power, that mask, which is now merchandise.
Yeah.
I love that you can get like fucking bootleg knockoffs and stuff. Like,
does David Lloyd get money for that? I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, if he does,
such a great design.
He
isn't it?
must be living in space.
Yeah.
It's
unless from some of them he does. I guess. Hopefully.
I think it's one of the most iconic comic book designs of probably the past.
Based on something? I don't know enough about this. Is it based on something similar?
Isn't that vaudevillian kind of mask?
It's got that sort of theatre mask, hasn't it? Sort of thing about it.
It's a little bit eyes wide shut about it somewhere, isn't there, as well?
It's always eyes wide shut with you, isn't it, Tony?
I'll keep them open.
Who was that was said about like when you ever did prayers at school? Do you ever open your eyes and look at the people?
Yeah.
That's what they look like when their eyes are shut.
I never kiss with my eyes closed either. That's not seeing it. I was having a chat with someone the other day, and we were trying to explain to a lady from another country the word nonce. And she said, look, it can be humorous. If you run for a bus, are you? And I went, yeah, you're a nonce. It's like that. It's like what you said before. You put chocolate in the fridge, you're a nonce. Yeah, nonce. It's like that. It's sort of lost its power, isn't it? Sadly, but
I tell you what, that word's lost all fucking power on this episode of the podcast.
Do you want me to tell you where it comes from? Do you know where it comes from?
I know.
Let's learn something.
Okay, so it comes from prison slang for not a normal circular exercise. So it's for people who were kept away from the general population, couldn't go on the circular exercise where they walked in a circle, or curricular. It depends who you ask. Yeah. So it was used for the people who were on the sex offenders wing, generally. So they were nonsense, not a normal circular exercise, not a normal curricular exercise. And that's where it comes from.
Wow. We learned so much on this show.
No problem.
I've got to say that word and the C word, like that's used quite a lot in the UK and I think Australia.
It's used more times on this show than like.
The C word,
but not in America. Yeah. It's still bad news.
Really bad in America.
I've written down one where you dropped it tonight, Dan.
Really?
Did you say it this week?
He's already said it on this show.
Oh, sorry, mate. I didn't realise.
I must have missed that.
I clicked my pen.
Oh, sorry, I didn't clock.
See, it becomes.
If you had it, listeners,
it becomes such a part of the English language, doesn't it? That it's sort of lost.
Mate, I have to fucking rein it in.
Like the word "fuck."
Yeah,
which is just every other word we seem to say on the show. For fuck's sake.
Fucking right.
Let's fuck. Oh no, not like that.
That's for our OnlyFans subscribers.
That's for the Substack.
The Substack. Yeah. Oh dear. Of which you can follow if you go to Substack and type in the Awesome Comics Podcast.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on tonight's subject. It's a massive one.
That was a bit of a rant by us, wasn't it? And we didn't cover everything by a long fucking.
No, God.
Oh, you should have covered this. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's loads. There's loads.
This isn't really, we're going to cover it in depth. This isn't a TED talk. This isn't. We don't do things like that. Sometimes with these.
I had a page of notes.
Yeah. Sometimes we do these chats, and probably 6 months down the line, you'll see another show that's been born of something like that because we discuss something that requires more, and also these past couple of weeks, we're dealing with subjects that some can be touchy for some people,
emotive,
So, but
I mean, some people said we're like three blokes down the pub kind of talk, which is fair. Like, it's
because we're all drunk.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, smelling a piss.
What?
True.
What? It's just me, is it?
We'll do an episode soon on our favourite 80s comics. Can we do that soon? Because I've been cataloguing a load of 80s comics this week, and I'm like, oh, look at this.
Well, I'll be fucking all day on that.
Yeah. We do need to talk more about this cataloguing system, Tony.
Yeah. It's I've got a little add-on to it that tells you how much it's worth now as well. I don't know how I worked that out, but it seems to happen.
Just I mean, we won't talk about this too much, but just talk us through it, Tony. Is this an app? What is it? Is it a subscription set? What is this thing?
So it's the CLZ, if you're American app. That I've been using it. I've had it for a while and sort of played about with it. I know Pete Watson uses it, and he's catalogued his. I think I'm right in saying Pete. I don't mind saying he's catalogued his collection using it. But because I lost track of a lot of stuff. I had up until maybe sort of 10, 15 years ago. I had it all written in a book or in a series of books, and I sort of lost track of it. And I had a month off recently, and I thought, right, this is the time to catalogue the comics, and it wouldn't take a month. I've got to tell you, it's probably going to take me years. So I thought, right, I'm going to pay for it. So the way you use it now, the CLZ, I think it's free for a while now. It's a pay for service, and so I pay for it on a subscription. And what it does is it's really good. So rather than there's like 17 volumes of Punisher. Speaking of Punisher earlier, he's on volume 17 now. So when you get an issue, if you're just writing it down or Googling it, you got to try and figure out what volume it is. I've got a pile of random comics everywhere, you got to try and figure out what volume it is. So like Captain Marvel's the same, Daredevil's the same, all this sort of thing. Amazing Spider-Man, there's been a few volumes of that now. So you got to try and figure out what volume it's from. So what you do is it's got 3 ways of logging it. You can log it manually on this app. Right. You can use the barcode. That's not always reliable. I think there's a few companies, Dynamite, who might reuse barcodes. I don't know how that works. And then but you can hold the camera over and it scans the cover and it tells you what issue it is. Now you may think, I don't know, let's talk about just you may think that this DC comic, there's only one of these, right?
Right.
Even a comic from the 70s or the 80s, you may think there's only one of these, but there's not. There's a lot of them have UK price, American price. So there's 2 versions of that comic. Some of them might have a 3rd version. If it's into the direct market, it might be direct market or newsstand or UK priced. So they're all different. Right. And wait till you get to, there's some Valiant books that go, so issue 1 of Bloodshot issue will be 1A, 1B, 1C. They go up to 1L. There's literally that many.
Bloody hell, okay.
And sometimes it might just be a very, very small difference. Right. Yeah, so it allows you. So for example, I found a stack of New Wave. So this is the comic New Wave from Eclipse Comics. Came out at the same time as Airboy. It's in the same universe. And I found the stack of it of New Wave. So I took a picture. I used the app to picture the cover. Let's say that was issue 1. So this is issue 1. Yeah. And then you click through issue 1. And it takes you to a gallery of all the covers of all the issues. And it's got the multiple covers, And you think, this one, it's got an American price on it. Oh, it's that one. Click number 2. Click number 3. Click number 3. Add to collection. And it's all stored in the cloud. And you can look at it on any device you're logged into. And I've got it on my phone. And it's already saved me money. So I'm trying to sort of fill the gaps. I'm trying to fill the gaps on Airboy. And when I was in Baltimore, I knew I've got like 5 or 6 issues of Airboy that I haven't got. And in the old days, I would have gone, have I got this one? Have I got this one? It's cheap. I'll buy it anyway. And I'll probably find out I got it already.
Yeah.
But with that, you just go to the gallery of covers, and you go, right, no, I haven't got number 6. I need number 6. It's like that. I'm trying to do 1,000 a week.
Fucking hell.
I've done 6,000, and I'm going to say I'm probably about 10% in. So.
Fucking hell.
It also does a lot of English comics, British comics. It does annuals, British annuals, not all of them. So it does the 2000 AD, Star-Lord, stuff like that. I haven't tried it on stuff like
How long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing it now?
I've been doing it
since actually making a concerted effort.
Making it a sort of it's about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Do you think? Do you think you will have almost done it by Christmas or
no,
by the new year?
No, this is a year. This is years' work. Yeah, this really is. So you got to remember, not only am I cataloguing them, I'm also putting all the Spider-Men over there, and I'm putting all the first comics. So I've almost got a complete run of first comics. So I'm putting all them all over there because they're in different boxes. So I'm having to. It's very much a juggle of space. Yeah. And because you've been to my comic room, Vince. You know, there's a set of stairs going up to the comic room. So on the stairs are boxes. It's like this. So no, it's years.
So after this, will there essentially be just probably hundreds of pounds worth, but doubles? Do you know what I mean? Is it going to be something where you'll be like, right, okay, you'll have loads of
doubles.
Yeah, loads of old comics that you. What are you planning to do with these? I don't know. Because in the past, it's like, I'm never going to give away my comics, and I can understand that with collections and everything like that. But if you've got 3 copies of the same issue, or 4 copies.
Tony's holding out some big titles here.
Yeah.
So that's Uncanny X-Men 97.
Yeah.
That's
a double.
King size. That's a double. I've got 3 of these actually. Yeah, I just bought different, better quality issues.
Yeah.
Then Defenders King Size Annual #1. Saw me Luke Cage on the cover. There's some good stuff. So some I may sell. Some I may just give away. See what I've got.
Maybe possibly for charity. We could see.
Yeah,
what we do. Do stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that, man. It's
nice.
Yeah, it's a funny one because it tells you if you try and put it into it twice, it tells you. You say it's already in there.
That's brilliant.
That's good.
Yeah, but there's some that I'm very
level.
Yeah, I'm really in. So my Master of Kung Fu collection, I'm trying to get all the UK priced ones and the American priced ones. Yeah, so and then I've got a couple of extra issues for the original art that I've got because I want to display them together. It's there's a lot sort of mentally going on, and then I've got a little pile of ones that aren't in there yet, so you can add them manually into there.
It's like a fucking job, full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, I was out yesterday. Big shout out to Deanna and Nora. I was out with them yesterday, but when I got in, I spent 6 hours in the comic room doing it. Yeah, but man, I was saying to Cannon this morning, it's so lovely to do.
Yeah.
I'm opening long boxes I haven't looked in for 20 years sometimes, and I'm like,
it's a killer when I start looking through mine. I'm just like, oh fuck!
You got the time just disappears.
Next to me. You got to read all these.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to stop to read them, haven't you?
Oh, that's the trouble all the time.
That's what I'm doing. I mean, I aiming to do 1,000 a week, and I thought, and this morning I still had 600 to do, and I was up here for 3 hours, and I looked at how many done. I'd done 130. It's because I was going through a load of DC Comics Presents and reading them at the same time
fuck,
as well.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's and you do realise there's a lot of cack.
Yeah.
There's little periods in comic history you think. So I've got obviously I need to buy some more boxes and stuff, but I've got you can't see it now, but it's almost as tall as me, a big pile of comics that are just I don't know if I'll ever even bother bagging them.
The thing is, sometimes if you listen to the online noise, you think, oh God, it's so terrible in comics now. There's so many bad comics around. There's always been bad comics around. There always has. Just the fact that we just didn't hear about them because no one knew about them. I
think there's a lot more comics being made now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more chance there's going to be a lot of bad comics, but there's always been bad comics.
Yeah.
Well, bad comics,
and especially from our side of things. More mass-produced, independent, and small press titles. Do you know what I mean? The ability to do that is easier now.
You'd be surprised some of the stuff US small press is in there. It's in the index because they price everything at dollar price and stuff. It's not UK. There's not enough UK fans, is there, to support an app like that? But for the infrastructure and everything. But there's I've been finding because you give for example, there's no BEM in there. There's no fantasy advertiser. There's no Speakeasy. There's no Comics International. Nothing like that. But if it's an American fanzine, it tends to be in there.
Right. Maybe they're saying they're open up and.
Yeah, I think so.
Enough.
Yeah, and I've put all those ones to the side that maybe I'll add them myself in there. And I'm not sure if then they get.
Is there an option to do that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'd asked Pete a couple of questions around it. Pete knows about it, Pete Watson. I was asking him a couple of things, but yeah, it's been nothing but a joyous. I was just looking through a load of Zot, my back issues of Zot. I haven't read them since I was 20.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's like
that's
almost 30 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah. It's almost 30 years ago. So it's sort of, mate, I recommend it. If you've got a couple of long boxes and you can get the app, it's not expensive. But do it.
I remember coming along like doing that once and then getting the Terminator comics from First, was it? And
it was Dark Horse. Was it Dark Horse?
It was before Dark Horse got the license.
Right, okay.
And they were fucking terrible. It was so bad. I remember getting them at the time, like, I really like Terminator, and I got these comics, so like, this is nothing like the films.
I was looking through the Marvel Robocop comics the other day as well. I was doing them. They're weird. That's not the Robocop I recognise.
Nah.
I mean, they're quite fun, but
for me, there's kind of like there's the Verhoeven film, and then there's everything else.
Yeah, okay.
Some of it are varying quality, but like it's the film, and
I absolutely forgot I'd seen the new film. It completely slipped my mind. I'd seen that there was a new
with
film.
Joel Kinnaman, is that his name?
Yeah,
and it's got Michael Keaton's in it, isn't he?
Yeah. Samuel Jackson and fucking.
Right.
There's some interesting
Gary Oldman.
So at the cinema.
Yeah. There's some interesting ideas and stuff in it, but generally it's just you're never going to top that first one for me, at least.
Yeah. Science fiction was a bit dirty and nasty back then as well, wasn't it? So.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Predator now, Vince? No.
Have you seen the new one?
Why,
That's the question.
Why have you done? Right, get this.
Why have you done this to me?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I just sat up on my chair, listeners, just to.
I was a bit disappointed that Aliens versus Predator isn't worth much either, which is a bit of a shame.
Well,
the comic, yeah.
That's a shame. Probably because they made so many of it. It was such a big, I got caught in by a title, right? Like a click, like the Predator. It was on the Hollywood Reporter, so yes, I know where I've gone wrong there. And I was like, the top Predator movies ranked. Oh, do you know
I saw that shit.
A franchise near and dear to my heart. Starts off from like 7 or 9 or whatever it is. So it starts off, the lowest ranked ones are the Aliens versus Predator films. Fair enough. I get that. I thought, okay, we're off to a good start. Okay. The top 3, right? Number 1 is Prey. Number 2 is Predator Badlands.
Oh.
And the original Predator is number 3.
How much did they pay them to do that? How much did they pay them?
I was enraged. I had a proper sort of nerd out. So I sent a link to one of my mates who was also a Predator fan, and he was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I fucking know."
Predator 1, Predator 2, and then the rest.
Exactly. Predator 2, well, I think was 4. I think. Oh no, it's 5 because Predator Killer of Killers, the animated one, was 4. And I was like,
so somebody's paid him some money for that. That's fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
The Predator is fucking arguably one of the worst as well. That is fucking terrible.
Yeah. That was later on, but
someone was bringing that up about the fact that there's the Predators are interested in autism, people with autism and stuff. I was like, what? Why is this in the fucking film? That's how I know they wanted to give us this
people.
Yeah.
But, I've only got another fucking half hour tea. I ain't got time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look. I don't. I've got. Like, I'm just gonna. Thank you for letting me
off, T.
Thank you for having me have a little rant there. And I think Predator Badlands looks like a lovely Star Wars movie, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Do you know what I mean?
Mainstream bullshit.
Man, enjoy it if you want to. Yeah,
exactly. I'm gonna watch it at some point. I'm gonna watch it, and I'll probably enjoy it. But
I'd rather watch porn.
Well, always.
Two-screen theory. T.
Sorry?
The two-screen theory.
Yeah. I don't think I'll make it through the whole film doing that.
Yeah.
Which one?
Well,
Both.
I don't make it to the credits.
Look at the state of that flapping horrible mouth.
Somebody told me there's a soundtrack in porn. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because...
You just hear on the Bluetooth speaker downstairs.
Yeah. He can't have the sound on. He can't have the sound on when he's on the bus.
That ties in actually to one of my recommends.
Oh, we got the shouts, dudes. Yeah, there's shouts now.
Yeah,
we're running late. We're running late.
Yeah, speaking of which, what shouts have we got, gents?
Big shout out to Hellbreaker, now on Kickstarter and killing it. Demons like you've never seen, and a sort of the coolest surroundings for a comic, the coolest setting for a comic with a real driving narrative. Pat Mills in Ashcroft. Some new comics on Kickstarter. It's about 82% at the moment. It's been going 48 hours.
Me and Kieran were there at the live launch.
I know, I couldn't make it. I was on the train. Yeah, good stuff. If you get the deluxe version, you also get you get Ian working slightly differently in a story written by George MacDonald about the police character in it. It's called D.S. Rod Asquith. I've been behind the scenes and looked at both these stories. I look at both of them. They're both cracking. I mean, the main one is Ian has worked for years on this, and you can tell. Just amazing.
Nice.
Go and back it. Thanks to Tony Aopi for the comics package he gave me at you passed through Cliff to me at Baltimore. If you go to stupidsketchbook.com or AIUPPY.com, Haunt looks great. I've got Haunt to read this week actually. He sent me through. DUI 4 is looking great and nearing the finish line. Simon has shared with us all some of the work he's doing. He is doing some great work on that. It's looking really good.
You wanted to shout out for the classified ads.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. Yeah, so he's got a sort of, if anyone remembers Comics International, they had a sort of styled classified ads page, and he wants to fill it with stuff from us. So it can be serious or silly. I've reached out to a few people. There's sort of space for advertising on the page as well. But whatever you got, reach out to Simon. You can speak to him on the Slack, or you can pass it through any of us, and we can pass it on to him. But feel free to come and join the Slack.
I've been racking my brain all fucking weekend with trying to think of something to put in that. I'm really
you got to put something around your comics, man. You both got stuff to put in there.
Yeah, I should just do that.
Yeah, have we got I guess we've got an advert in there as well. We normally. Did you speak to him about that?
We can reformat the page one we've got.
You were going to speak to him about something, weren't you, Dan? Today.
Yes, I said I was going to try and get something over to him, which
let's do all the office admin
to do.
That's fine. yeah. But anyway, get on it. We've seen a new thing. Is it from Jay Pictor? Jay on the Slack has done this thing.
Yeah. Oh man, lovely stuff.
Mate, Jay, so good. Yeah.
Yeah. He said he's inspired by the Silent episode comics we talked about.
Everyone would be inspired by our Silent episode. I think you mean the one where we talked about Silent comics.
That's the one. Yeah. You can listen to our Silent episode anytime you want.
We'll put that out next week. Or on holiday. But yeah, no, well done. It looks absolutely outstanding, that comic, and I think there might be some space for at least some of it in there. But Simon's doing really well on it. Kind of a one-man band, really. I would sort of offer help where I can, as we all do. But yeah, get these adverts into him. Make it easy for him.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my ones.
Nice. Dan, what you got?
I've got a few, so let's start off with the first one. We've got Killtopia Phantoms, issue 1. The award-winning cyberpunk series returns. An elite Neo-Tokyo police unit hunts a mind hacker who makes people's worst fears a reality. That's from Dave Cook. That's smashed through its target. Got another 20 days to go on that. Blood Force, issue 1, a killer satire of 90s extreme comics. The ultimate satire of 90s extreme comics. You ever been kicked in the face by speed lines before? Get ready. It's about that time. That's heading towards this goal. It's got another 20 pages to go. If you love those old school 90s comics, Rob Liefeld, Silvestri.
I bought a Youngblood comic this week. It hasn't arrived yet. Yeah, because of the cover.
Okay. Well, a variant cover.
Yeah.
Or a new one or an old one? Fill in the gap.
I don't really know. I just like the cover.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, I bought it off Fin Planet.
We've got Muck Spout Split. Issue 1, punk rock comics anthology, a must-have for comic book aficionados, punk rock devotees, and anyone who craves a truly unique and immersive artistic experience. I bet that could do a little bit of a hand to get that across the line. I'm pretty sure they know what punk is, except putting the comic out. And coming this Friday, we've got Vyper, Red Shadow, Los Angeles, 1980s. The Vyper team battles the Yakuza, old foes, and the enigmatic Red Viper in a neon-soaked synthwave action comic. I've been hard at work on that. So do come check it out.
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait.
I've cut together a nice little video. Got some feedback on that, and that's.
Oh, okay.
And I'm kind of saving a lot for the launch.
Has someone written a little prologue for you, a little intro again?
Not yet.
Oh, are you going to choose? You got someone in mind? Because I did one, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah,
did we have one in the last one? I'm not sure if I did.
Yeah.
I'll mix it up. See what we can do.
Was I described you as driving a Mini whilst firing a machine gun and eating a Kit Kat? I described that as your artistic approach.
I think it's fair.
You're not wrong.
Fair.
Good.
Nice.
Real. So that's it. Yeah.
Nice.
And do go check out the Hellbreaker campaign because it's absolutely lovely stuff.
Mate, wait till you see the. Well, I think he's put a couple out, but fucking hell, Ian, Jesus Christ!
It was
seen the scene inside the pub.
No, I've not seen that one. I don't think.
Jesus. Yeah.
He's kind of got like the Art Nouveau looking going on. They were talking about it on the call about the Hellbreaker's car. It's kind of this Art Nouveau kind of sports car, and there's a robot in it that's kind of got the aesthetic, and it's like, man, Ian's a real talent here. Like getting him.
That robot looks amazing. That car's great. I know they worked very closely together on the design for that and everything. Brilliant.
It's paying off, man. Good luck.
Nice. Now, from all that cool stuff to check out, there's some wonderful comics to add to your wish lists or just check out in general. Tony, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm going to start with The Wilder, issue 1. It's Running Ground Studios. I'm going to simplify the credits, right? So I'll explain why. Written by Ben Canny and Liam Garrigan, art by Axel Medellin, letters by Rob Jones, variant cover by John J. Pearson, actually. I think if you have the writer and the artist listed, you don't need an extra line. So it actually says created by Ben Canny, Liam Garrigan, and Axel Mandelin. Then it says written by Ben Gary, Liam Garrigan, and art by Axel Mandelin. I don't think you need both. I think we accept that that's created by those three people.
Yeah.
Seemed a bit unnecessary. It's part of sorry.
Sorry.
He's got it's 3 stories basically that are all part of the same universe, all part of the same world, and I suspect all part of the same narrative. The first part of the book is very experimental, especially at the start, where it uses sort of fantastical beasts to build up another world reality existence, but it's purely sort of brutal nature. So talking beasts. And it's drawn with a way that there's just this like wall of ferocity in it. These creatures are just at each other, angry. It's called Section 1, and it's this bit is entitled "More: The Seventh Cycle," and there's apes, hybrid saber-toothed tigers, werewolves, winged lizard men, and more. And they speak in this sort of grandiose speech, the grey feather otherlings, and these this sort of almost its own language, but it makes sense, if you see what I mean. It's a really nice creation. I think it works really well. I do think, and they use different kinds of lettering to portray different people speaking throughout this comic, actually. I think they need so this is a Kickstarter that drops on November the 11th. What's the date today? Oh, it's Tuesday, so the day after this episode comes out, it drops. I think they need a lettering pass on it. I'll be honest with you. The third page of the first part of the story, it says Fizzand, and they for some reason it's joined the words together. But also, so there's some spelling issues. But I think with the lettering, there's some white on black in it, but there's some black on white, and I think the black on white, the spacing in it kept interrupting my reading process.
Right, that's the problem. Yeah.
So do a lettering, because it deserves. I love the art in the first part of it. It's brilliant. It's just the first bit really struck me as them trying to do something different. And we've talked about Running Ground Studios before, but they're trying to make an emotion and a mood into a comic. So you've got these creatures that are at each other, and it's like almost like an experimental European book in a way. I guess I'm going to say that sort of thing. There's a sort of prophecy, there's an incoming disaster, and then the comic shifts. So we shift into another part of the narrative. I talked about this many times, but it's 3 stories that I presume will interlock in future issues. And the second story is set in New Baltimore on Earth in 2196. And Jaheim is this sort of rooftop thief. In fact, that's where he lives, on the rooftops. And he's got this floating globe with him with sort of tentacles on it, who's kind of his companion, his robot, his friend, who goes on these sort of thieving adventures with him. And he's got a grappling hook that he grapples onto the cars that are flying through the sky and travels about like that. But inevitably, he owes money to a gang. He comes across the gang, it all goes wrong, and then something happens to him. something happened to him is part of the cliffhanger that leads into the cliffhanger at the end of the story. I think I've seen it before. It fell into a little bit of a cliche, that one for me.
Okay.
As soon as I saw him, I thought, oh, well, if he's a thief, then the gangs are going to be after him, sort of this lone figure. And then the third part of it is, meanwhile, in the South Pacific, it says there's a massive airliner palace. And in it is a princess, and there's a problem with her as well. And there's this bit where she sort of walks through the gym, and it did look a bit like everyone from Punisher with their shirts off, a bit like that from everyone from Predator with their shirts off. Even two of them doing that handshake thing in the middle of the room. I don't know what that's about. And there's something wrong with her, and she's sort of fighting all these different factions that are coming to her and stuff like that, and in this space liner. But she looks exactly like Natalie Portman in Star Wars. And there was another little bit of it's a bit of a cliched look for me. There's something going on with her which is more original as part of the narrative, but it just looked too much like that, when she's like, is she like a
try not to do that now.
Yeah. So there's 3 stories. I suspect at some point they will overlap. They're sort of kind of hinting on that, especially on the last page. The first section of it was really interesting to me. He really gets the artist really gets that sort of drooling ferociousness, and he draws everything. He draws like elephants, crocodiles, tigers, gorillas. It's really nice.
Man, that's fucking great. Yeah,
really well done. I found story 2 a little predictable, although the character is quite likable.
Okay.
And I found story 3 a little confusing.
Okay.
But I'll be on board for issue 2, and I guess I would say please go and back it because it looks quite interesting. And like I say, look out for The Wilder from Running Ground Studios when it drops on Kickstarter in a couple of days. There you go. That's my first one.
Keep an eye out for that one. It sounds decent. Yeah.
Nice. Dan, what have you got?
I've got 2. I'll start off with the shorter one, and I do the longer one afterwards.
Yeah, I'll jump in the middle.
This is a friend of the show, the Beehive X Botfly Ashcan edition.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
By got Ross Radke, and the other chap is called I just had it here and if I can clicked away. Marcus Giorgio, and it follows. We've got 2 halves of the Ashcan. One half is Beehive, and the second half is Botfly. The origin story of him, and he's from a comic called Spandex, which you can read online, which I highly recommend. It's a great comic.
Strong cover, man. I think that's a common thing we've got all week, or with all our choices this week. The covers are really strong. Covers. Yeah.
The Beehive one, I've completely new to me. I'd read the Botfly one before. Still great comic. I'd really highly recommend check out. It's very much like a like the Sentai Kamen Rider stuff where they get like a mask and then they take on those powers. It's similar to that, but based around bees. And the art style's lovely. When I was reading it, I was like, fuck, is this guy like a clone of Cliff Cumber?
Oh, right.
He's really, I'll send you the link, but the art style's really, it's not completely finished because it's kind of an Ashcan kind of thing, but very similar art style. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I was like, I can't wait to read the full thing of this, because it's just, if you like people dressed up in superhero costumes, great looking superhero costumes, bashing the fuck out of each other.
Yes, we do.
This is just, man, this looks like it's your fucking cup of tea. I'd have to look into like the full version of that, because that's my jam, man. Like, and if you're a big fan of Invincible and stories like that, can't recommend checking out Ross Radke's Spandex, which I believe you can read online for free. I haven't got the link for it, but if you Google either of it, it'll pop up.
I was thinking the Substack, yes, will we?
Yes, we're sticking. When I do the Substack post, I'll stick it on. The Botfly costume is so good. It's kind of a lot of blacks, and he's got kind of like a neon green kind of like bug eye suit with the symbol on his chest, and it's Ross's fucking character design is absolutely on point. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
So go check out that title and follow Ross, and I'm going to find out where Marcus Giorgio. I'm going to fire up that AI stalking engine I mentioned earlier on the show. Find out his Instagram.
Nice. I'm going to jump in the middle here with a book that I took off my shelf that I've been. It's one that probably 8 years now. I've had it on my shelf, something like that. No, probably a bit less than that. And we've all got those books that we buy, we're meaning to read them, and we don't get around to read them, and they stay there. They're within.
Got loads of them.
Yeah,
I've got a few.
And it was one that, and also a book that you kind of want to find the time to sit down with a cup of coffee or whatever, and like this book just needs a bit of attention rather than just picking it up, having a flick through. Those books are great, those wonderful over the top kinetic, whatever it may be. But the one I've had for ages, and I think I picked it up at Nottingham Comic Con.
All right.
Well, years ago, I think, in my trawl for a graphic novel find. This is it's a Scholastic book, came out in 2013. It may have been printed elsewhere before this edition. This is a book called Dogs of War by Sheila Keenan and Nathan Fox. Some of our listeners may have already read
he's
this.
the Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah, and he also did, Nathan Fox also, I believe he did The Weatherman, the Image comic series.
Oh, him, did he? Oh, sorry, I'm getting him confused. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think it's him. But what is Dogs of War? Because it seems like how many times have we heard that phrase, turn of phrase? Some war heroes heard the wind whistling over a hidden tripwire. Some war heroes sniffed out a sniper 1,000 yards away. Some war heroes stood tall on 4 legs. This is a book that's 3 tales. That's about 3 different dogs in 3 different wars. This book could have been, when we did our sort of war comics, this could have sat proudly. It's one of those ones, if I read it before, I immediately would have been speaking about it. It's about Boots, Loki, and Sheba, 3 extraordinary war dogs who braved bombs, barrages, and battle to save the lives of the young soldiers who depended on them in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. So there's 3 tales in this. And it's showing a side of the wars that you don't really see. You hear the tales of like soldiers having dogs for sniffing out bombs and all of this kind of stuff, and this is that. It's a very human story. It's a very heartfelt story. It's also sad. They're 3 distinctive different sides as well. Like the first story with Boots, he's like a black and white. Oh God help me! I always forget the name of the breeds of dogs. But he's sort of the medic dog, so he's sniffing out when this is World War One, when it was carnage. He would sniff out someone that was hurt because they wouldn't be able to find them, and they saved like God knows how many lives because the dog found them when no one else could. And it's the bond between this dog and their owner. But that story itself, which kicks off the book, also showcases that time when, around Christmas, when the Germans and the English were they stopped. They completely stopped for a time. And there's a point when there's a brilliant turn of phrase, which and it seems, as these books should be. We talk about the research that you should do with wartime books, and this definitely feels like that. As this medic is separated from the rest of his group as these bombs sort of rain down, and he falls into this trench with these other. They're quite colourful sort of characters, and one of the things that immediately caught me that I thought, oh, that was clearly taken from real life, is that it goes when the soldiers are talking, it goes, all right, okay, we're almost ready for the morning hate. And the character's like, what's the morning hate? It's like, well, every morning we shoot at the Germans and they shoot at us and no one hits anything.
All right.
It was just a time in the morning where they just fired constantly and hit nothing. And I was like, oh, that must, and those short turn of phrases that people have for like, and it talks about trench warfare. And the second one is in World War II, and that's like more of a snowy sort of landscape, and the third one is the Vietnam War. It's a book that probably got a lot of play. A lot of people must have spoken about it like years back, but it's a real it's a brilliant storytelling book, I think, both from his historical vantage point and also if you like books with animals in, this is very pro-dog.
As long as they don't get hurt, I'm fine.
Would you like the minor spoiler on that?
Yes, I would.
The dogs live.
Oh, goodness. Right,
this is not... This is because I was...
It's always a worry.
But I was reading it thinking, oh, God, it's World War and, you know, these dogs... Clearly, these... It doesn't... It's going to sound strange. It doesn't reduce itself to that basic premise of the dog's going to sacrifice itself. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
The dog dies. You know, I think the power is on the edge of the seat, you know, because the dog's there with them and helping them and doing these massively heroic things. If it was a human being, they'd be having medals up the wazoo. But at the same time, they're a companion. There's a one that...
That's where I like to get a medal.
But the Vietnam one, I mean, they're all about war and, you know, dealing with difficult subjects and it's grim. The Vietnam War one is the most... it focuses more on the trauma because there's a character who's waking up, you know, he's obviously after the war and he's having nightmares and thinking back to his time, and he's got a new puppy now, but when he had a dog as well, so but the nature of those Vietnam stories are always so grim, aren't they? They're so heartbreaking. So you know, it's emotional and it is based on sort of the real life roles of these dogs. This isn't just for the sake of it. There was, like, as it says on the Amazon page, there were Red Cross rescuers, messengers, scouts. There were search and rescue teams, sentries, mascots. They were always aware, you know, they save people from snipers. So it's both like many war books. There's an element of the adventure book about it, and also you really do learn something. You know, reading it, I really felt like, wow, you know, and it's just in those little turn of phrases or like the little details of, like, you know, how some of the soldiers have got like lice and ticks and they're just tipping them into tins and, you know, all these little details you think, oh, that's horrible, but that's probably what it was like. Or when it was raining in the trenches and, like, right, okay, for the next couple of hours we're going to be flushing all of this out. That's our job for the next couple of hours. Do you know what I mean? It's just... It's a great one. So Dogs of War, if you see it, I mean, it's not something you'll find just in your... You might see it in your local comic book store, and if you do, definitely get it. It's a lovely... the one I've got is slightly bigger than A5. It's a paperback edition. There is hardcovers and stuff. Sheila Keenan and Nathan Fox. Like I say, if you've got it... Colours by Rico Renzi and Guy Major as well. Yeah, it's really good, especially if you like these sort of war tales, or if you like tales about animals as well. Dogs of War is I think quite an important book.
Okay.
Well. So that one's my one. So add that to your list, Dan. It's going to be something quite different now. But what have you got next?
My one is from Afterlight Comics, Diva Satanika, an erotic horror graphic novel by Brow. 68 pages. She's an urban legend, a whispered name. Some call her Medusa, others the Queen of Evil, the Lady in Black. Vampire, witch, demon, no one knows for sure. But one thing is certain, no one leaves her mansion alive. I've kind of forgot about this, and I was like, okay, I'll trawl through and see what books have been given to me at Kickstarter, and then I have to look through the various messages to find the download link. So, oh yeah, there it is. So I kind of, oh shit, I forgot about this one. So loaded it up. I completely forgot about the premise because I backed it months ago, weeks, whatever. So when I started reading it through, I was like, fucking hell, it starts revving up like very quickly. It focuses on the main character, who's Jonathan, and I feel like the character model is based on like a young Seymour Hoffman.
Okay.
He looks a bit like, you know, like in Happiness, that kind of look, but a bit longer hair.
That's
maybe it's a dark one. You know how he looks in Boogie Nights, that kind of like floppy kind of hair, a bit like that. And he's a real kind of like a man in modern day society, completely alienated. He doesn't really talk to people. He gets the piss taken out of him at work. He like watches pornography almost obsessively. He's watching it on his work computer. He's watching it on the way home. He's fucking masturbating at work. He's really well off the deep end. Yeah.
No, he's not speaking about us, Tony.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. For a second, I thought he was talking about your weekend.
I was a bit worried.
I didn't know you were in at work at the weekend, Vince.
Yeah. I never switch off, man. It's part of my problem.
And in part of the story, he gets keyed into like a bit of talk about this Diva Satanika who will like you'll have the best time of your life with her, like if you sleep with her. And he goes on kind of like a clandestine quest on the dark web and through various kind of tricks and means to try and arrange a meeting to go and find this woman. And through this 68-page full color comic, that happens. And maybe he does and doesn't get what he wants out of it. What kind of, when I was reading through this book, the artist Brow, who I've not come across before, BRA with a kind of hyphen above it, and O. It's all hand-colored, water painted. In the back, there's some extra pages, and it must be about a dozen or so. And he shows you the process of how he goes through it. And he paints a page with the watercolor, leaves it till it dries, paints a second one, leaves it, and then a third time, and then works over the top of that with pens and various bits and bobs. So it's like, fucking hell, the time he must take on making these pages. And they're not just like slapped together, they're really intricate stuff. I'll stick, when you look at the Substack tomorrow, I'll stick some pages in. I'll send a link to the Afterlight Comics page on our WhatsApp group so you can take a look at some of the pages. It's great stuff. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a shame I missed this one before Halloween because it would have made a fantastic comic to read through, well, at any point, but especially at Halloween. If you go on to the Afterlife website and make a sign up, you can get 50% off this, and this book is already discounted. So it's a good buy. I'd recommend it. And that is Diva Satanika by Brow. I don't know how, that kind of like spiky black sort of font like writing they use on like thrash metal bands.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, black metal bands. Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of.
I saw this on Ian's table when he was at some of the shows, and it looked really good. So
yeah, it's very spicy. So be warned.
Don't like that.
Lovely bit of spice.
Yeah. So they're just going to look at this in the toilet. The light's better.
Yeah. So while Dan's off to look at that again, Tony, what have you got?
So I'm going to finish off with Psychic Sam, issue 1. Nobody's talking about this. It's bizarre.
No.
I haven't seen anyone talk about this. Obviously, it got a bit of heat when the Kickstarter was going, but it's a Kickstarter that's done by Mark Millar, pencils J.R.J.R. John Romita Jr., inks Klaus Janson, colours Bill Crabtree, letters Clem Robbins. And it arrived through my door last week, I think, sometime. And nobody's talking about it. I don't understand that. You've got a comic by Mark Miller and
I just completely Jansen. Missed this one.
Yeah. For the 2% of our listeners who missed this, it's a Kickstarter run by them, and the company's called Side Hustle Comics. I feel kind of that, obviously down to the writing style and the art style, this could fit into the Kick-Ass world, but it's got a little bit more of a sensible feel to it, I guess.
Okay.
For me, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It felt like it was a return to the comics of the early 2000s somehow.
Okay.
When there was that real energy about comics back then. And the period, we had Rucker and Miller and, these people were just doing some great comics. They call it, some people call it the era of the writer, don't they? That little period there. Bendis was on fire at that time and this sort of thing. So it's good, readable. There is an absolute definitive feeling of Frank Castle in this, in motivation as well, but with this twist. There's a twist to it, and I love books that are about psychic powers. I love anything that's about psychic powers. To be fair, novels, movies, TV series. So Titular Sam is just a regular Joe. He's a hardworking married guy, and he's got this sort of sarcastic best friend. Typical sort of Foggy Nelson kind of best friend, bit blue collar.
Okay. Yeah.
But it starts off with him. It starts off with a kid who's killing his parents because they won't give him enough time on the computer. One of these sort of annoying kids, and he's got his parents tied up and he's killing them. And then you realise what you're reading is a premonition that Psychic Sam is getting pushed into his brain that causes him to crash the truck that he's driving. and he wakes up in the hospital, and he recounts this to his wife and his best friend, and they go, "That just happened. How could you know about that? It literally just happened. It's just been on the news. It's just happened." So he begins to realize he's got this power, which is, it's not a spoiler. It's kind of what the title's about, really. And the cover's a geezer holding a gun. And it gets really violent. It gets really bloody, real levels of, Millar violence, really. I guess nice. Millar, JRJR violence. But what he does, and this is typical of Millar, it's a great first issue. There's a twist, and then there's a twist, and I like that. So we get a twist, and then you go. By the end of it, you go, "Oh shit!" It's a bit like that, yeah. And I won't. I really don't want to spoil it because I think if it hits the shelves, get it. Yeah. I backed it, and I backed it in full knowledge of how much the postage would cost. I mean, this was £18. Shouldn't be that expensive, Oof. Mark Millar lives in East Anglia. Why am I paying for it to be shipped from America? There's
couldn't
a bit
you do
of me that says that.
Local printing in
can't he just get a load shipped to his house and just ship it out? I don't know, but it's never going to be, it's never going to be Salman Rushdie, but it's going to be a good Statham movie. Put it that way, one of the good ones. And that's all I want in my life sometimes. Yeah. That's all I need. And JRJR is really good in it. He's better than he's been elsewhere. I know there's been some criticism of his work on Spider-Man and stuff, and on some Daredevil covers of recent times. I like him. I've always liked him. I've always just found him very readable. He's
same
solid.
Seems to get a lot of haters sometimes.
Doesn't he?
I've never really got it. There's times when I feel like he's kind of overstepped the mark, and it's like gone a bit far with that. But
so I wish I'd gone for the other cover. I went for this cover, which is fairly. I mean, red. You couldn't pick that out in a crowd, could you? Really, it's not.
Yeah, it's just like the main character holding a pistol towards the camera with a red skull in the background,
and the red skull is very much. The decision to put the title over that red skull is not a great idea. I think it just sort of covers it up. You don't really see it's there.
It's a pin up that they shouldn't have made a cover.
Yeah, and he's holding the gun in a bit of a weird way. You can't hold a gun like that, I guess, but it's a bit of a strange way. But yeah, it's a solid book. I'm on board for the second one.
Bro,
I'm looking forward to it. It's just I don't want to say forgettable because that's a horrible thing to say, but it's just a good, fun fucking book that made me laugh.
Nice.
And they know how to make comics, those three people.
Yeah,
totally, man. They can fucking do the business.
Yeah,
here you go. That's my second one, guys.
And us three people sometimes know how to make a podcast, and we've tried to do it this week, and we hope you've enjoyed it.
Very good.
So let us know. Keep the conversation going, as we said, online, etc. Join the Slack group. Get in touch with us to join that wonderful community of people. Lots of different channels, art threads, all kinds of stuff. We'll probably have some fun around Christmas around there as well. So join us there. There's several different ways you can get in touch with us about the show itself, or if you've got any books you want us to check out, any charity initiative, comic book shops you want us to shine a light on, please do let us know and we'll shout them out. You can email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at awesomecomicspod on Insta, at the Awesome Pod on X. And where did you hear us? Where did you hear us? Where were you when you heard us? Well, we don't need to know that. But perhaps you heard us on awesomecomics.podbean.com, on Apple Podcasts. If you sort of leave a nice review, 5 stars. Please, it helps the show. It really does help support the show in all seriousness and get out to a wider audience. And more people discover new books, new creators, and hopefully some interesting topics, because we want more cool people to join our community, because our community, the Awesome Comics Podcast community, is the fucking best. So so get the word out and join us.
There's kind of go back to one of the points Tony made earlier, like people coming in and wagging their finger about them being revolutionaries. If you weren't like firing an AK-47 assault rifle at UN forces in 1970s Congo, If you're not up to the level, we don't want to hear from you. You're not very...
Where the fuck did that? We're also. You can also leave a 5-star review on Spotify. We're also on Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. I'm terrified to ask, but Tony, where else can you hear us?
On the Pod Network, Creamy Shits.
After everything.
I've got to remember that for the Substack tomorrow.
Creamy Shits. There you go. It's the title of the episode.
Fucking hell. Sorry. That came out of nowhere.
Brilliant.
Much like Tony himself.
Yep. Never see me coming.
I'm just messaging myself that, so I remember to put it in.
Yeah. And you can also buy t-shirts at acpgear.redbubble.com.
Oh yeah, you can.
Thinking about doing maybe a Christmas one. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I bought a mug this week. I'm on your office.
Lovely, brilliant. So go forth and see more stuff on there. But as for us, where can they find us online, etc.? Tony?
Neverrunanything.com or Tony Ez on Substack.
Nice. Dan?
You can find me on Twitter at Vanguard Comic, and you can read Vanguard at vanguardcomic.com. And this Friday, remember, Vyper Red Shadow launches. Go check that out. That'd be the best time ever. I can't make
it. It is going to be the best.
Check it out. Check it out.
You can find me on social media at Jester Diablo. To all of our lovely listeners who are making the pilgrimage to Thought Bubble over the next week.
That's next weekend.
Yeah, that's next weekend. I think that's next weekend. Yes.
Let's turn social media off.
But let us know what we should be checking out. Let us know your comic book hauls. We'll put a channel in there or something like that. So what's the hotness? We want to know what it is. And who are some really lovely...
Please don't post pictures of the toilet.
No. If you buy one of those fucking horns with the old the fur on them and the strap, let us know.
Drinking horns, please send that to me.
But actually, should we put some of those in the Redbubble shop? That'd be quite good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. ECP drinking horns.
We just got the horn. See, the marketing. Already, we've got it sorted. But please do let us know, and safe on your travels. But until then, from Tony, Dan, and myself here in ACP Towers, the rebel scum that we are.
Yeah, you rebel scum.
We will see you next week for more fun, more comics, and of course, possibly some guests. Look forward to it, and we'll see you there. And until then, I guess they've got to read some comics and obviously look after themselves and hopefully be happy and healthy and everything. Yeah. But there's something else. What else should they do, guys?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye then.